friends. My name's Megan.
And I'm Beth.
We met on Twitter and now we're friends, and each episode we get together and we share fascinating, interesting, funny, wonderful, weird,
delightful
stories that we find on Twitter.
Hooray.
Hooray. So, the end of the world is nigh.
What?
Yeah, I know. Because there was earthquake and...
Oh, right.
Yeah, and then tornado.
Mm-hmm.
And the Smiths may or may not be breaking up. So, I know. But my first story comes from Moorish, Brooklyn. Yes. And it's about the earthquake. More specifically, it is about the animals in the zoo, the Washington Zoo, and how they reacted in the minutes before the earthquake.
Ooh.
And it's so interesting. So I have a friend who Facebooked that her dog stared at the ground for 15 minutes before the earthquake struck.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know that animals are amazing and they can sense things and whatever. But it's really interesting how the different animals reacted. So the gorillas and the apes freaked out. They, some of them left their food and like ran up into the tree things. One like collected her baby and shrieked. One did something that I've never heard. One began, an orangutan began belch vocalizing. I wonder what that sounds like. I don't know what a belch vocalizing is, but apparently it is. It indicates annoyance.
Oh,
that's what I'm going to do now. Whenever I'm annoyed, I'm going to belch vocalize. The lemurs, they sounded the alarm 15 minutes before the quake.
Weird.
And then again just after. What else happened? The snakes, who are usually very calm, they were all writhy. I know. Some beavers and ducks like jumped into the water. Apparently the beavers stood up first and then they jumped into the water, and all the ducks were like, yeah, forget this. I'm going in the water. And all the flamingos, like a big flock of like 63 flamingos, they all huddled together and stayed together. And the lions, apparently they like stood up and looked at a building that was shaking, and then they just laid down. The lions don't have to worry. They don't care. My favorite is the giant pandas. Nothing. No.
Those pandas.
They didn't know. Did you feel the earthquake?
I didn't, did you?
No, I didn't.
No. The guy sitting across from me in my office felt it, but I didn't. I don't know how that works.
That's really odd.
Yeah, it was weird.
I was in a restaurant having lunch, and I think, well, I'll go back there if there's another earthquake, because if I don't feel
That's true.
That's
It's
probably
a safe place
where
to
I
be.
should go. Anyway, so very interesting.
Excuse me.
You want to be around, if you want to know when an earthquake is happening, hang out with some
Listen
apes.
for the belch vocalizations coming from the tree thingies.
Or from me.
Or Megan.
Yeah.
From Bitter Script Reader, we have the binding terms of being a real-world cast member, which are actually quite terrifying. So I always wonder when I watch a reality show how much of people's lives they sign away to MTV or whatever show.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a lot of intrusion into somebody's life, or putting them in another location and having them all live together. So some of the better ones from this binding agreement are: you may die, lose limbs, and suffer nervous breakdowns. If you contract AIDS or other sexually transmitted diseases while filming, then they list quite a few. MTV is not responsible. Interacting with other cast members carries the risk of non-consensual physical contact. And should you contract AIDS during such an interaction, MTV is not responsible. You grant the producer blanket rights to your life story. Your email may be monitored during participation. Under ordinary circumstances, all of this would be considered a serious invasion of privacy.
Yeah.
The best part is, so I always wonder how much people get paid.
Yeah.
So it doesn't divulge the payment, but it does say that you're obligated to participate in a reunion special for up to 5 years after the show ends, and you'll be paid $2,500 for your involvement. The producer only has to give you 14 days notice. Also, you're required to participate in book or home video projects for 2 years after the show ends, and you'll be paid $750 for each one. That does not seem like very much. And you've granted your life rights. That's everything that ever... I think that's future things that happen to you as well.
Really?
I think so. I might not. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm making things up.
$750 for that.
Yeah.
That
Crazy.
is madness.
You're signing away so much for so little money.
Goes to show you how...
And possibly gonorrhea.
Ugh. An unwanted physical contact. Or unconsensual, I guess.
And serious invasion of privacy. 14.
This is so
It's
odd.
so weird.
I've never really understood the desire to subject oneself to such things.
No.
I mean, maybe the first few reality shows when people really didn't know what it was all about, I could sort of see, well, I was naive. I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, what's the excuse? Really?
Fame and fortune.
Except no fortune.
No fortune, just fame.
Just fame and sadness and emptiness.
I guess they make the money in the, what are those? The deals with like clothing companies and stuff.
Do they
like
get
Jersey
deals?
Shore, those kids.
Except
they're
deals. Abercrombie and Fitch asked, what's his face to not wear?
Situation.
Yeah. Don't wear our clothes, please. We'll pay you.
I wish
That's the other way to go about it.
It might not be true. It might just be a stunt.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know. Excuse me, I have a little something in my throat. Okay, so this story came from Margaret Atwood, famed and celebrated writer. Margaret Atwood tweeted about the Young Naturalist Awards, which are awards given out by the American Museum of Natural History. They're given out to students in grades 7 through 12 who have investigated questions in biology, earth science, ecology, and astronomy. So this kid, this is ridiculous. He's in grade 7.
Can I show him here?
Yeah, that's Aiden there.
Right
Aiden, he's 13. He's in grade 7. The name of his essay, he makes me feel so dumb. The name of his essay is The Secret Fibonacci Sequence of Trees.
Oh, man.
And so his question, I guess, that he posed, he was hiking in the Catskills.
Of course.
And noticed that the branches of the trees had a pattern. And applied a bit of science and math. And discovered that the spiral pattern of the leaves, I might be getting this wrong, but this is how I've understood it. The spiral pattern on the leaves, of the leaves on the trees, reflected the Fibonacci sequence, which is this relatively famous sequence of numbers that's a mathematician discovered, and it appears in like shells, spiral shells. Anyway, he said to himself, well, there must be a reason why the trees are built that way. They're not built, but you know what I mean. God, I sound so dumb. And anyway, he said, well, I wonder what would happen if we used solar panels that way. Instead of putting them flat the way that they're built, we construct a little tree with solar panels and discovered that doing so could increase the amount of sunlight energy collected by the solar panels by 20 to 30%.
Go Aiden. That's
What?
so cool.
Wow.
I know. Isn't
Nice
that
work,
amazing?
Smarty Pants.
And it's so amazing because can you go back to the story?
Well, I can. I pulled up the photo here. Hold on.
Okay, just because I want to show you. So there's all this very complicated... That's the little tree with the solar panels on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they show a comparison of like how much space would be on a typical panel?
Well, no, but there is a graph that shows, if you just go down a little bit there's the graph showing the difference between the sunlight collection. So the tree design is on the top and the standard solar is on the bottom.
Cool.
But
So I
then-
guess for the sun's movement. That's so cool.
Yeah, and then I love also how you recognize that he's 13 years old because he's got these little charts that are like, pencil crayon and like
Aw.
marker.
I mean, awesome.
Look at that bar
He's
graph.
discovered
That's
this
amazing.
incredible thing.
Let me click on it.
These are the kids I always hated
I
in the
mean-
science fair because they were so smart.
Look how
Nerds.
cute he was.
And I was like, isn't the flame retardant material flame retardant? Yes.
Mine was like, couldn't you water plants with pop? No. I literally did that one. I didn't care for science fairs. But I'm really glad that kids like Aiden exist and that
that's
they're getting
really cool.
recognized because he'll save our planet.
Hooray!
Yay, Aiden!
Heather Payne tweeted an article from 1967 Cosmo about female programmers. Some choice quotes from this article include,
Look at this.
"It's just like planning a dinner," explains Dr. Grace Hopper, now a staff scientist in systems programming for UNIVAC.
What's happening? What's happening over there?
It's
What
off
is-
center.
Oh no!
Hold on, I'll fix it.
Technical difficulty.
We'll just
You
sing
can
a little
talk about
song. Yeah, tell us more about it.
So the
They're
the header is the Computer Girls. The subhead is a trainee gets $8,000 a year. A girl senior systems analyst in quotes gets $20,000 and up. Maybe it's time to investigate. And the woman that they have taken pictures of has the most amazing hairdo.
Cool.
She's beautiful. She
She's
looks like
amazing.
Amelie a little bit.
And
Well,
she's
maybe not.
a
Okay, I was wrong.
doctor, and she's a staff scientist, and she's amazing.
That's incredible.
But basically, I read something, I don't know if it was from this article, but read something recently that there were a lot of women in programming in the early days of programming, and then over the course of time, they sort of just petered out of the industry. And now there are more women going into it, but at the beginning, there were lots and lots of women doing software. Oh, I don't want to say that. I'm not sure. Because there wouldn't have been, I don't know. I'm looking at Sean as if he knows the
What?
answer.
I
No, but there
know.
were
Yeah.
lots of women involved in programming.
Yes.
Ignore
absolutely.
what I said prior to.
But why did they
What were
peter
they
out?
What were they involved in, Beth?
I don't know.
Software.
But I say that, but I'm not
Development.
sure if there actually was software at that time.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
'Cause it would've
They
just
were
been,
systems engineers.
Like the punch cards and stuff.
Right.
But
Why did they peter out? Why?
I don't know.
We should investigate that. We should get a kid to.
My
Do
stories
an
are always
essay.
the weakest. I'm just like, yeah, something.
That's not true.
Something happened.
I think the pictures are incredible. I like Dr. Grace Hopper. Oh, her name is amazing too. Dr. Grace Hopper. She's the star of a show. Don't you think? She
Yes,
should be?
She should be, yes.
And it can be about
Lady Programmer, 1967.
yes, like Mad Men, but
That's for
lady,
lady
programmers.
programmers.
Starring
Yay!
Dr. Grace Hopper. That's amazing. We will write it. Almost every episode we talk about how we're going to write a movie, write a TV show. I've
will
never
write
done
it.
either, so that's great.
I write tweets.
Exactly. They're a lot easier. A lot less work. All right. So my recommended follow is a colleague and friend, I would say. Kevin Knowles is his name. He is Kevin JN on the Twitter. He works on TorontoLife.com. He's the associate online editor there, and he handles the fashion content. And he also has his own blog called Dressed for Dinner, where he covers men's fashion
Cool.
and beards also.
Beards.
He likes beards. He's a beard enthusiast. Beard enthusiast? Anyway. And his tweets, he's very funny and very smart and sarcastic, and I like him.
Hooray!
Yay, Kevin.
Following now. My recommended follow is Twitter Friends Twitter. So it's called Megabeth TTF. It's a play off of Megadeth. Some smart Twitter followers have already seen that. Very exciting. So follow us here, and we'll post stories that don't make it to the Twitter Friends episodes. You can also follow us on Facebook at the Twitter Friends.
Yep.
Yay.
And also, I will say the reason that the Twitter Friends is spelled so strangely in our Twitter name is because you actually can't have the word Twitter
On
in
Twitter.
your Twitter handle. So we're the Twitter Friends. But you know what we mean. That's it. Thanks so much. Please
See
come
you.
again.